The Ballad of Novotel, Toronto Centre. A tragedy in 5-star disguise. Oh, gather round, my fellow travelers, and let me weave you a tale so wretched, so dripping with incompetence, that even the ghosts of hospitality past would shudder. This is the story of Novotel, Toronto Centre, a place where dreams go to die, where customer service is a myth, and where elevators become torture chambers. Let us begin with the elevator of doom, because nothing says luxury stay like being trapped in a metal box with 12 strangers during a heat wave. Picture it, the air thick enough to chew, sweat pooling in places you didn't know could sweat, and mess of months pregnant, overheating like a forgotten potato in a microwave. We call the front desk. Help us, we beg. We are melting. And what do they say? Oh, yes, we call the fire department. A lie, a filthy, rotten lie. Because 45 minutes later, when the firefighters finally pry us out, they reveal the truth. Novotel didn't call them until we'd already been baking for an eternity. And the kicker, the firefighters say this happens all the time. Oh, how delightful. A hotel where the elevators are basically haunted, but instead of ghosts, it's just negligence and false promises. But wait, there's more. Let us talk about Fred, the customer service rep who ghosted me harder than my high school crush. Emails, ignored, calls, click. This man treated me like a telemarketer instead of a pregnant woman who nearly passed out in his death trap elevator. This is why it's bad. When you ignore guests in crisis, you ray not just bad at your job, you ray a villain in a story where the moral is hotels should care if their guests die. Now, let us weep for the snowstorm scam. Guests booked rooms for a concert. The concert got canceled. 20 to 30 centimeters of snow were coming. Common sense says, refund them. Novotel says, LOL, no. Imagine driving through a blizzard for nothing, trapped in a hotel you never wanted, all because Novotel's heart is as cold as the storm outside. This is why it's bad. Scamming guests during a weather emergency isn't just greedy, it's cruel. And oh, the front desk of despair, where staff members misplace reservations, mock guests, and treat you like an inconvenience instead of a paying customer. One poor soul arrived at 1 a.m. only to find her room had been given away because someone typed the wrong date. The staff's response, we were trying to help you, while cutting her off, interrupting, and shrugging like her distress was a mild annoyance. This is why it's bad. If your staff's idea of help is gaslighting guests, you don't need customers, you need an exorcism. Then there's the dirty sock of shame left behind like a relic of Novotel's housekeeping standards, and the thermostat tyranny, where the AC1T go below 72F because reasons. This is why it's bad. If I wanted to sleep in a sauna, I'd go to a spa, not a hotel that charges me for the privilege of sweating like a sinner in church. And let us not forget the manager who laughed. A guest dared to ask about a laundry charge, and what did the manager do? Smirked, giggled, asked if they had anything to say for themselves, as if being overcharged was a joke. This is why it's bad. Mocking guests isn't just unprofessional the kind of behavior that makes people vow never to return. So here we are, my dear travelers. Novotel Toronto Center, where elevators trap you, staff ignore you, blizzards scam you, and managers laugh at you. A place where every promise is a lie, every room is a gamble, and every stay is a regret. Tell me, friendship, you suffered here too?
Script content, so I was looking into scams near Novotel Toronto Center. Toronto, you know? Like, the kind of stuff that happens to tourists who just come for a little while and then leave. And oh my god, some of these stories are just businesses near Novotel Toronto Center. Toronto, they like, small shops, cute places, but also places where scammers love to mess with people. Like, there was this one tea shop not too far from there, Pippin's Tea. A guy came in pretending to buy a gift for his grandma, so sweet, right? But then he messed with the card machine, said he'd come back with cash, but instead, he tricked the system into giving him a $4,900 refund. Like how, the machine didn't even need a password for refunds, which is just why. The owner only found out later, and even though she got her money back, imagine how scary that must have been. And now, other shops near Novotel Toronto Center, Toronto are changing their settings because of this. But like, who even thinks of doing that? And then there's these fake stores online like Renaissance Toronto or whatever. They post these sad stories about closing down, big sales, but it's all fake. No real store, no real owners, just stealing money from people who think they're getting a deal. Tourists near Novotel Toronto Center, Toronto might see these ads and think, oh, local shopping. But nope, just a scam. And what happens? People order, nothing comes, and the scammers disappear. Like, how do they sleep at night? Oh, and then there's the Dollarama thing, not a scam, but still wild. Some security guard near Novotel Toronto Center, Toronto got into a fight with a customer over spilled coffee. Like, really. It got so bad the guard got charged. And now, who knows if that guy even still works there. But it's just, why does everything have to be so messy? Anyway, yeah, that's what happens near Novotel Toronto Center, Toronto. Tourists think it's all safe and fun, but then bam, scams everywhere. And the worst part? The scammers probably just move on to the next person. Like, how is that fair?
The dark truth about businesses near Novotel Toronto Center. If you're staying at Novotel Toronto Center, prepare yourself, because the businesses nearby are a masterclass in disappointment. From overpriced mediocrity to outright scams, this area seems to thrive on letting people down. Let's start with spas. If you're dreaming of relaxation, think again. Spas near Novotel Toronto Center are more like poorly lit hospitals with a side of chaos. Take Elmwood Spa, for example. Guests expecting a peaceful retreat instead found dirty grout, musty smells, and a water therapy area that's basically a public pool with identity issues. One visitor described it as hospital vibes, which is not exactly the Zen escape you'd hope for. Then there's the staff. Some were kind, others were so rude they could make a rock cry. One couple celebrating a birthday left feeling racially profiled after being treated differently from other guests. And if you think management will fix things, nope. They doubled down, siding with staff who allegedly made up stories to cover their tracks. But the real horror show, a guest reported seeing someone bathing in their underwear while taking photos in the water area. Imagine paying for a luxury spa day and getting that. If you want relaxation, you'd have better luck sitting in traffic with the windows down. Now, let's talk about food. Indian restaurants near Novotel Toronto Center seem to have a talent for turning delicious cuisine into expensive regrets. Benares Cuisine Indian is a prime offender. Diners expecting rich, flavorful dishes got tiny portions of bland curry with rubbery chicken, or, in one case, 5 sad cubes of salmon floating in a sea of disappointment. One customer even poured their meal into a glass just to prove how little food they got for 30. And if you complain, good luck. The staff allegedly pretended to be managers while arguing with customers instead of fixing the problem. Then there's the Chase, a so-called fine dining spot where the only thing refined is the art of overcharging. Guests reported lukewarm food, chaotic service, and a chef who apparently thought yelling like a market vendor was part of the ambience. One diner's friend had an allergic reaction because the kitchen couldn't be bothered to follow instructions. And if you're older, some reviewers felt deliberately shoved into bad tables, as if the restaurant was embarrassed to have them near the window. Coffee lovers, brace yourselves. Versus coffee might sound like a battle between good and evil, but evil is winning. The matcha latte was so lumpy, one guest compared it to drinking powdered chalk. The cappuccino, a 5 cup of lukewarm milk